on this Friday, September the 29th, 2023. I'm Kevin. That's
I'm
Phil.
Phil.
And we're here to talk about the Active Matrix and the powerful hero's quest metaphor. You can call it the hero's journey too if you want. And housekeeping. Where do we want to start?
Well, let's start with going to the upper right, I think, and you can follow us. Somewhere up there is a follow button, so you'll get notifications when we go online and other stuff.
Yes.
And then we invite you all to chat in, just as Kevin and I have done. There's a chat function right there to your right.
On
You
the
click
lower
it,
right.
and then it says, say something nice. So Kevin has weighed in from Maine.
Yep.
I'm still here in Langhorne, PA.
Right, Lord.
So please chat in. And there's James from Northern Virginia. Yay!
Hey. And
All
so,
And then the other one is, don't forget to click on the green button below.
right about there, right there.
Right about there, where it says click here with APA, CEs, and Matrix certification.
Yeah. And that's way cool.
Oh, yeah. We've been getting quite a few people now signing up.
Actually, signing up for both, actually.
Yeah, for both, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've reminding people that it is CE time. I know that I was just talking to Kevin, and I know Kevin's almost got his done. Maybe you're all done. Are you done? Your CE?
I haven't counted, but I doubt it.
Yeah. Well, I know I got a few more to go. So, but
Well, see, I'm not due till next April, so.
oh, you're good. Yeah, I'm due in November. Pennsylvania's due end of November.
Oh. But I do have quite a few days.
Yep. But it's a nice, handy way to get some CEs and
you learn about the Matrix.
And learn about ACT and learn about the Matrix.
And so,
I think that's it.
I guess we're all done. We can sign up. Oh, no, we forgot. The Hero's Quest.
Oh.
Actually, I didn't. I was just fooling around. So, if you don't know, really quick. Oh, man. I was just talking a bunch about the Matrix. I was on some other podcast or whatever as a guest. So I'm full of talking about the Matrix.
Well, hey, we can start by, let's put it up there first. Then. Okay, there we go.
Okay, the secret, folks. What's the secret? The secret is to show it to people.
Just like this.
Just like this. Just show it. And you say, okay, you could even say sort of, this is a conglomeration of what we say, but it's something like, I can show you this point of view that a lot of indications show that it increases your psychological flexibility. Would you be interested in taking a look at a point of view that just might increase your psychological flexibility? What do you think? And it takes about, 2 minutes or so for me to show it to you. What do you think? With that, most people, well, somebody here can answer.
Anybody here, it's on.
But if you open that up, most people will say, James hasn't responded yet, but he might.
He might. You could say.
Sure. Conard, is here? James is here, and Phil's here. Well, I know Phil will.
Yeah.
And then you say, yeah. And then you show it. And the way you show it is like, however you can. That's how you show it. Phil and I happen to have these handy dandy little whiteboards that Phil has. I also have them right now. Whiteboards, and you just say it looks like this. It's got senses at the top, mind at the bottom, has contentment, the feeling of contentment over to the right, and the feeling of relief over to the left. And you started off by answering this question: who's important to you? And so people would answer, like, my wife is important to me, right? And so you can write that down and like that. Now, if you want to do a quick twofer, like Phil has done in the lower right, you can say also, if you're in a couple more than one person, you can answer this question: what's your shared purpose? Like, so if you're a married couple, well, what's the married couple's shared purpose? Well, it better said purposes. And so there's a lot, of shared purposes, things that you work on together. Okay. And that also goes for teams and other things as well.
Yeah.
And you can answer that question as well. So a couple might be interested in taking care of each other, which is and so then it would be, and that really goes to behaviors. What do you do to take care of each other? So you do all that, okay? In the lower left, you show people that's whether you're talking about individuals or couples or whoever, yucky stuff goes in the lower left. We humans have yucky stuff that shows up. For example, fear. We all get fear that shows up, and usually it's yucky. You don't like fear. Another biggie that most people experience is pain. Pain shows up. I don't like it. That's yucky. Some people, I have heard rumor, have anxiety show up.
Ooh, yes.
I think Phil too has had that.
Oh, yeah.
Heard that rumor.
Another one that is very popular is self-doubt.
Oh, I've experienced lots of that myself.
Add a bit of that.
And anybody that's with us can chime in and say your favorite yucky stuff. Biggies that we get a lot of: the depression, obviously, sadness, that kind of yucky stuff that shows up.
Pain, you always said that.
All that kind of stuff. And you put that stuff in the lower left. Okay, that's where you write that down if you're doing this point of view. And then you say, okay, that's all well and good. That's all inside the self stuff. The stuff below the horizontal line, that's inside you. Okay. Now, when you go above the horizontal line, these are observable behaviors. Somebody else, if they were watching, could see you doing it. So for fear, you might see me running.
Definitely.
And you could see me running. Okay. Pain. Anybody got something? Nobody's chatted in. It's not a chatty crowd today.
Nope. Quiet crowd today.
You might chat in what you do for pain. Physical pain. You can chat in what you do for psychological pain too.
I'm going to go take Tylenol.
I oftentimes do that myself.
Someone else may have something different though, so feel free to.
It's a quiet chat.
Yeah, it is.
At these times, we don't know if it's because the chat is
delays, right?
We don't know, or people they don't know how to do it. If you're on a computer, it's easy. It's in the lower right.
Yep.
If you're not on if you're on an iPhone or whatever smartphone, we don't know. We don't know how you do chat then. We're always on the computer, but you get the idea. Yucky stuff goes in the lower left. In the upper left, you then put, we're up in the upper left. Sorry. Upper left.
We're still there. We're still there. We got anxiety.
Tylenol. What else do we do?
Anxiety we got.
For anxiety. Ooh, what do people do for anxiety?
Oh, man, I have tons of things I do for anxiety.
Oh, like what?
Well, how about a glass of wine?
Oh, that's a good anxiety buster right there. So we can do a glass of wine. Some people smoke joints. Some people drink a couple of shots of whiskey. Some people take a walk. Some people do yoga. Some people take deep breaths. These are all for anxiety.
Yep.
Lots. Anxiety is yucky, and people do a lot of things to get relief from it. Okay? Oh, self-doubt. Oh, my. What do people do to get relief from self-doubt?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the obvious one is stop doubting yourself. But
I doubt if
that'll work.
Knock that right out.
knock that off. Uh,
I think avoidance. People do a lot of avoiding, which when it comes
I think if you have self-doubt, you are probably going to avoid. And avoidance is the numero uno of all relief moves. Don't show up, right? And for depression, people, once again, lots of things.
The
They
low
say-
hanging fruit is stay in bed.
Stay in bed, take antidepressants, exercise, all that kind of stuff that people do. And then finally, you go to the upper right and you say, well, one, what can I do for my relationship, to get contentment with my partner, my wife, let's say? Well, I talk to her. What a concept, If you were doing shared purposes, well, there's a twofer right there. I can go talk to my wife about our shared purpose.
Oh, excellent.
And now we're talking about us as a couple, right? And so those two are always right there. I mean, even Jeremiah Johnson, that old Robert Redford movie, he kept running into people and having shared purposes.
Yeah, you seem to wouldn't have been much of a movie if he didn't have a couple of people to run into.
Right. And even in the end, it's him and that Indian that was chasing him.
That's right.
So they had a shared purpose.
They did.
Right. So shared purposes show up in the human endeavor. So it's you and whoever you have shared purposes with. You just have that, okay? That's always going on. And you can do things to further, achieve the shared purpose. Okay. So, and now that it's all written out for you, now you can notice all of this stuff. You notice who's important to you. You notice what's important to you. You notice shared purposes. You notice all that stuff. You notice all your yucky stuff, lots of yucky stuff. You notice your relief moves, lots of those. You notice your upper right stuff of moving toward who's important to you, and you're getting the shared purposes done, all that stuff. And you notice all that stuff. Okay? And then here comes the big burning question. People say, well, then what do you do? You notice all that stuff.
We're showing you. Again, we're showing you.
And that's it. You notice all that stuff. So now I'll get to why and the term a lot of people will say is just noticing. I'm just noticing. And turns out those are two very powerful words. Just noticing. That's what people end up doing. So you notice who and what's important to you and shared purposes. Check. You notice your yucky stuff. Check. You notice your relief moves. Check. You notice your contentment moves. Check. Go on about your business. You did your noticing. You did it. Do that. And you keep that up. Okay. Well, in doing that, what naturally comes on board is something called the hero's quest or the hero's journey. They're interchangeable, those two names. And what do you mean by that? Well, you've probably read a book or watched a movie that used the hero's journey as a way of telling the story. Okay. And for whatever reason, I oftentimes go to Bilbo Baggins because it's a journey, right?
It's a classic journey story.
Classic journey story written by J.R.R. Tolkien. And so you start with the character, the hero, right? And literally a quest shows up for him, a journey. And it's literally in the book called A Journey.
Right? It is.
It's
Exactly right.
It is. And that's why I gravitate to it, because Tolkien actually referred to it as a journey. And so if you look at it from that point of view, yes, And so does yucky stuff show up inside of him? Yes. He doesn't even want to go, right?
No, he says, "I'm not your guy.
I'm not your guy.
You got the wrong dude."
He's got self-doubt and anxiety,
Oh my gosh, in spades.
all this stuff going on. He's got all kinds of internal stuff, but he gets talked to enough. Gandalf
Gandalf talks him into it.
convinces him, and they go on the journey. Well, then, just all kinds of stuff shows up then. And it's this constant thing of fighting off monsters and all of that. Lots of stuff, You get afraid of stuff, and many bows and arrow stuff, and all that good stuff happens.
Captured a few times.
But they're always after the ring, right? It's the ring. They're looking to go find the ring, and in another story, after they find it, to destroy it, right? But so the upper right is, well, what behaviors do we do to find the ring, to get the ring? And so that is a hero's quest, and of course, we are all on our quest, hero's quest.
Every day.
We just are, And so, in part, what the Matrix does is this very quickly gives you a bird's eye view of your quest, your hero's quest. Now, with that said, it is powerful, is the word that I used, to point that out to folks. Say, well, now that you've seen the point of view, you can see this as a quest, either that you're on, or you and your partner or colleagues are all together. It's a quest, it's a journey that you're on together. And so now you need to define your quest that comes about with who and what's important to you. Define your shared stuff, which is your friends, your spouse, or the people you work with, that kind of stuff. And you go over and say, well, what kind of yucky stuff might show up? And sometimes this yucky stuff can stop you. You don't do the quest
right there.
That's done. Short book.
Yeah, really. 2 chapters, you're done.
Here's Bilbo. He got really afraid. He didn't go.
Yeah, he froze. He froze up. That's it.
All right. So that makes for a lousy story. Now, if you say, what other stories? Well, there's lots of them, and lots of movies. You'll be familiar with Star Wars and Harry Potter, and many famous movies that take this, and books. Obviously, it started with books. The Homer and the
Iliad and the Odyssey, right?
Iliad and the Odyssey, quest stories, right? Literally, heroes' quest stories. So they're everywhere, but they're powerful because it's us.
Yeah,
it's our own quest. We all know, geez, I'm not sure, but I'm going somewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
It'd be journeying along here.
I'm going somewhere. If nothing else, you're sailing through time.
Yeah.
And you're going along. And for the most part, you get up and you do stuff. Okay, here's a short day, or a short description of a day. I get up, I do stuff, I go back to bed. Okay. The Matrix is about sort of fleshing out that I did stuff, right?
What did you encounter along the way?
All right, so stuff showed up inside of me. I did stuff to get relief. I had who and what's important to me and shared purposes in mind, so I did stuff in the upper right. And now that I've been doing this a while, I noticed all this stuff. And in the end, and that's why the quest is powerful, is because you notice if the quest, if your matriculating down the field of your quest?
You're getting closer to here.
Are you getting there? And that's you ask that question. Am I getting there? Where I want to go? Metaphorically, where I want to go. Oh, you may be going to California, then you can really notice if you're heading to
Oh,
California.
yeah, right.
That's concrete. Those are easy. The less ones are, am I being a good person?
Right.
Well, you're not going to find that in California, probably.
Nah, there's no signposts along the way that
This
get off here and
Yeah, yeah.
turn
Get off
left.
this exit, and you'll find your good person.
Right.
No, it's not, doesn't work that way. So but you're asking it. Now, after you ask the question, you don't answer it. And the reason you don't answer it is because ACT is about disentangling yourself from verbal reasoning. Is that a good word? Disentangling?
Yeah, I like that word, disentangling.
And because we all get into it, should I do this? Should I not?
Yeah.
Should I not?
Ruminate, equivocate.
Oh yeah, oh my God, I'm getting all twisted up in knots.
Yeah. I don't know what to do.
And sort of the human condition, right? Like, you get into that. Well, that's you twisted up with your thoughts. That's you getting entangled with your thoughts. And it doesn't work to tell yourself not to be entangled with your thoughts.
No, not at all.
Then you're just even more entangled with your thoughts. So it doesn't work that way. And so you do the matrix. I mean, you fill it out. It's important to share. You fill it all out, and then you notice all this stuff. And in the back of your head is this question: well, is all of this package get me where I want to go in life? And then you don't answer that. Then you say, why? Because if you answer it, that's words, and that would take you right back into the verbal entanglement. So that's why. It's that simple. And once after a bit, you get used to not answering the question.
Yeah. It's great to have a question you don't have to answer.
And then literally, oh, wow, that's right.
Yes.
I don't have to answer it. I'm free from answering that.
Yeah.
And we're not being coy. Life is going to happen and answer you.
Your next experience.
Your experience to provide you with the answers. Without absolutely 100% of the time, they're going to show up and show you the answers. Okay? And you will then know. But you'll know not verbally know, just know.
And here no.
Be part of your being. That's it. So the outcome of ACT is being, B-E-I-N-G, being. And that's what you're up to, including the quest. So what you're doing with the hero's quest is you're transforming all that fancy language of values and committed actions and all that kind of stuff. And you're like, you're on a quest. What's your quest for? What do I mean? Well, who's important to you? Part of your quest about doing stuff for who's important to you. Oh yeah, well that's part of the quest.
Oh yeah.
Most anybody who's lived life knows that doesn't always come easy. There's just some days even that's really hard.
Comes with baggage.
Right. Then that's the yucky stuff showing up.
Yep.
And that yucky stuff might literally stop you.
Can halt you in your tracks.
And you can notice that. And maybe it does halt you in your tracks. And you can notice that it
look, I'm still going.
I'm not saying that you then have to say, oh my God, I can't be halted in my tracks, I have to go. No, that's not.
No.
That's not the point. No. The point is you noticed that it stopped you. And you say, well, Kevin, why do you say it that way? Because you don't want to judge yourself. That's why. A lots of judging going on. And, so you got stopped in your tracks.
Okay, that happens.
It happens.
Stopped in my tracks many, many times.
Many times, right. And in that position, when you're stopped in your tracks, talking yourself out of that, that's not from this point of view. I mean, there's plenty of other contexts in life where either you or somebody else is going to try and talk you out of that. Fine. Not in this one. This is the world of noticing. Just notice that you've been stopped in your tracks. But you could notice what you're doing while you're stopped. Like sitting or standing or walking. Or sitting in the bar,
Sitting in my chair.
All kinds of stuff, and so you notice it. So then you got that. Then you can notice yourself doing your relief moves, and ultimately you notice if you're doing stuff for who's important to you, and for your shared purposes. So notice that. Once again, it's not like, oh, you're such a good person because you did that stuff. No, you did it. You noticed that you did it. That's it. And eventually that leads to the quest. Am I moving along through the quest? Your journey, you get to say.
Your call.
Remember that last scene in the No Country for Old Men?
Oh, yes.
And the sheriff, he's just retired.
Yeah, sitting there at his kitchen table, right?
At his kitchen table, and he asks his wife, is there, is there anything you want me to hang around or do for you or whatever? And she comes back with that kind of statement of, it's your retirement.
Yeah.
You decide what you do.
Yeah.
Well, it's your life. You decide.
Yeah.
And believe me, Phil and I know other people are going to show up and tell you what to do.
Oh, there's going to be a long line of them.
So you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about people showing up.
You don't need any more opinions. They're going to be piling up.
They're going to be there anyway, and you're not even going to get away with not telling yourself what to do.
Right. That's right. No one gets out of that deal.
Right. So I'm not. But maybe in this moment, you just notice, and there's the two words: just notice. And if you show, and they say, how do I get to there? Kevin, please tell me, how do I get to that just notice? It's pretty simple. Show this diagram to yourself and others 30 times.
Yes.
I'll give you a number. Isn't that like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He actually said a concrete number.
Yeah. Why 30, Kevin? Why not 29?
And I'm glad you asked. I think about 30 is good enough.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
It's a good enough number. Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah.
I am sure once is not a good enough number.
It's
Pretty darn sure that 20 is not. 30, you're really getting in territory of, it's a pretty good number.
Yeah.
And then from there, you'll start to notice the results of your quest. Go with our theme of the day. Then you'll start to just notice if you're getting along in your hero's quest. You'll notice that. And deep down inside of you, you'll know if whatever you need to do to change.
Yes. It will reveal itself to you.
It will absolutely. Now this, we don't offer very many guarantees, but we will guarantee it'll show up.
Yeah.
We just don't know what it is that'll show up. We're
Can't tell. We're not there yet.
not there, right? It's not, it'll show up, but it's important to be, it does help. Important helps, whatever, to be in that just noticing space. Then the stuff shows up. And there you go. So that's how, so it's really, you take the basic matrix or the pro-social matrix or both of them like we did today, and you show it to people, and you can lop on this metaphor. ACT loves metaphors, okay? But this is the only one that we really use. And it's like, well, you can look at your life as if it were a hero's quest. You're like the hero of a journey. Luke Skywalker or Bilbo Baggins or Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
You are the main character, and obviously you are the main character in your quest. Just the nature of things, right? You are it. And you can look at your life from this point of view. But then it's there, the metaphor is there for the question at the end. The question is am I getting there? And you say, well, somebody says, where? Up to you. It's your retirement. I don't know.
We just get to ask the question.
Right, it's the questions that are more important. And there you go. And that's now what you just did. Should I tell them the technical?
Oh, go right ahead, because it's Friday, you know.
Oh no, that's right, it is. Oh,
Yeah.
I can get away with it. In ACT, there's this thing that's called workability. And it's just asking you, are the behaviors that you are doing, are they working to get you where you want to go in life? Well, now we've switched it to, are the behaviors that you're doing working to get you along in your hero's quest, right? So we've added that. That is called functional contextualism. That's the fancy. That's the point of view. And it's a point of view that simply says, are the behaviors that you're doing in context, that's the function context, working to get you where you want to go? That's the ACT question. It's built on a philosophical question.
That's it.
So notice it's not saying be a nihilist or be a socialist or be a not
social justice warrior.
Right. It's not saying that. It's not that. It says you have somewhere you want to go, and now you'll look at, that is notice. Better word is you're going to notice your behaviors in the context of, are these behaviors getting me where I want to go? That's simple, folks. It's just that's very, very, very powerful. That is a powerful question. That will stop anybody in their tracks if you can get to where you can ask it. Are the behaviors that you're doing getting you where you want to go in life?
That's going to give you a pause.
That'll pause most anybody.
Yep.
Because you spring them back into the 30,000-foot view of their life.
And now they go back inside themselves and, ooh, okay.
Whoa. Well, that's what you're doing with the hero's journey. What's your journey? I don't know. I haven't thought of it that way. And now you get into that philosophical space. And the great thing about this is you can do the matrix, get in and get back out and go have a cup of tea or whatever.
On about your business.
So get on about your business. Right? So don't worry about it after that. In your 30 days, I mean, maybe you do it once a day. Show it to people once a day for 30 days. That'll do it. You'll be in good shape. That'll be fine. people will ask, well, what about all that other stuff of ACT? I ask you, Phil, what about all that other stuff of ACT?
It's there.
We get this question a lot. Don't you do values work? No, we don't. No.
Nope.
So,
Don't need to.
then next comes, well, can I do it? Of course you can.
Sure.
It's your retirement. It's your
Yeah, exactly. You're right. It's your
it's
retirement.
it's your life. You want
Yeah.
to do values work with people, go right ahead. I mean, well, what about diffusion? Is that in there? Yeah, it's already in there. It's just in there. You've already been doing it today. It's already there. Well, but ACT has all kinds of more specific exercises, diffusion exercises.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you do those? No.
Nope.
Can I? Of course you can. There's no
No permissions needed.
no, right. Sure you can. Well, have a blast. Go right ahead. Well, can I do meditation and present moment experiencing with people? You seem to have left it out. Au contraire. No, we left it. It's in there. It's right in there.
Yeah.
But we don't do the formal meditations and mindfulnesses and stuff like that. We don't do that. And here comes the next one. Well, can I do it? Well, of course you can. You're not going to mess this up.
Yeah, you can't.
We figured that out a long time ago. You're not going to mess this up. So have a blast. Do whatever you want. I don't care. You know, as long as you do what the basics correctly. Mind at the top. I mean, sorry, senses at the top, mind at the bottom. Sort of release to the left, contentment to the right. As long as you get that down, and then the basic who's important to you or shared purpose to the lower right, yucky stuff lower left, relief stuff upper left, contentment moves upper right, and then the noticing in the middle. That is important. That's like the baseball diamond.
Yep.
The baseball diamond needs to be the baseball diamond. Or if you don't like baseball, the football field needs to be the football field.
Yep.
And if you go try to play football on the baseball diamond, things get all messed up. Or conversely, the baseball and the football, somebody's got to put some bases and stuff down.
Line the field, you know, stuff like that.
There's all, you know, and so the context of this is you set up that point of view.
Set up the game board.
You set up the game board. Monopoly is played on a Monopoly board. Risk is played on a Risk board. The Matrix is played on the Matrix board, and that's the Matrix board. So you set up the Matrix board, and once that's all set up, then after that, that's what I mean. After that, you can't mess it up. It's good. You're good. Whatever you do goes right back into the Matrix anyway. Oh, I did diffusion work. Okay.
Oh.
Was that for relief or for contentment? What do you mean? Just a question. That's all. And see, now people go, well, where's the right place to put it? There's not a right place to put it. I just asked a question. Did you do that for relief or did you do it for contentment? And they're like, well, I don't know. Well, that's nice. I really like not knowing.
Yeah.
And then so people want to whack me then because of this. And that's me releasing you from language. You don't have to do it. Were you in your head or were you in your mind? I mean, were you in your mind or were you in your five senses? What do you mean? Just a question. Well, what do you mean by five senses? Oh, that I can answer. You see things, you hear things, you taste things, you touch things. Which one? Oh, and you smell. That's it. Those are five senses. That's the sensory experience. And then here's what you'll notice, folks. Okay. And all of that is said. What this is really getting at is that us adults with language, okay, which is a lot of the human race. And when anybody past like 9, 10, 11 years old. Really, that's it. That's the, sort of the breakover. You go in your head, and your mind becomes magical. It's the be all and end all of everything.
Ooh. Hero's journey in your mind.
Right, and it's not. Mine's not, yours not, Phil's not, nobody's is.
We all think we're legends in our own mind.
Right. We're always a legend in our own mind, and we get disconnected from our five senses experience
Very quickly.
That's just it. That's what all the mindfulness stuff is about, folks. It's about folks reconnecting with their five senses experience. Even if you focus on your breathing, focusing on your breathing is reattaching you to, or bringing you back to the awareness of
Out of your head.
your five senses experience.
Come into your
That's really what it's about. So in the end, if you can remember to pause and notice your five senses experiencing, cool.
Yep. You're good.
That's very cool. So, but you say, but that's hard to remember. But it's a lot easier to remember your hero's quest.
Yeah.
And even easier to remember who's important to you. And now we get to, that's what Phil and I do. I also at times get asked, well, how do you remind yourself to do the matrix? I really don't remind myself to do the matrix, but I do remind myself of who's important to me. That I do. I've gotten better at that. I don't know if I'm good at it, but I've gotten better at it. Asking that question, who's important to you? And by the way, folks, I'm a strange egg maybe. And I know a lot of people answer me, the self in the lower right. I almost never. It's always my wife, my kids, my goats, my dogs, my honeybees. It's something. Why? Because it's so easy to go do something for them. I'm not the kind, I don't know about doing stuff for me.
Harder to do for yourself than others.
Yeah, I'm not so good at that maybe, but I can certainly do something. And in this day and age, you can pick up your smartphone and text somebody,
FaceTime them.
FaceTime them, right? You can do stuff, or you can bring them a bit of tea, a cup of tea, or a cup of coffee. We're in America. Phil and I bring our wife's coffee.
Coffee, I would take the coffee, yes.
Yep, I take my wife a cup of coffee every morning. And yeah, it's definitely, and here's the concept for you folks. It's both relief and contentment, both. And you say, well, how could it be relief? Like, well, if I don't, I feel guilty. So how long ago, really, part of it is I would feel guilty if I didn't take a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So that would, so in part, I'm avoiding the grief, right? I'm avoiding that guilt.
Yeah. or if you made a cup of coffee for yourself and didn't make one for your wife, that would be.
I mean, no, I can't live with that guilt.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
No, I want to really diss on myself for that. So
Big
no, I'm not going to do that. So is there a little bit? Almost always, your behaviors are a twofer. A little bit of both.
Yeah.
But the lion's share of it adds for my wife. Contentment, the relationship, the contentment, right? With a little bit of relief from guilt or anything in there. So you can look at any behavior. Then you get to, that's just sort of fun. People make a big deal about doing that analysis. I don't. Maybe Phil does.
No, it's not a big deal.
Every once in a while it shows up and it's fun to play with.
Yep.
Not necessary. The biggie is the five senses to mind. That's the biggie.
Staying in the middle here. Staying in the middle.
I don't know about you, Phil, but staying connected with my five senses experiencing is a challenge.
all day long.
And it's just because of the human mind takes us out of it.
I think of Michael Corleone. Just when I thought I was getting out, they pull me back in. That's my mind. Just when I thought I was out, pulls me back in.
Get the hell back here.
Where do you think you're going?
Ooh, your mind is the mafia. I
Oh
like
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, my mind is the mafia, definitely. I got a cast of characters in there.
it. Oh, there's another metaphor for you. Your mind is, but yeah, it's going to draw you out. So whatever you can do to, notice your five senses.
Yeah. Get some
And,
get a
and
little
that,
balance going in yourself.
now, as much as I say that, folks, that's it. It's
Yeah.
notice your five senses. It's not that you got to do something big fancy. That's not the
Nope.
point. We're never
No
talking
big-
about. This is always just noticing.
Yeah.
Do the diagram, set up the point of view, just notice it. If you're looking for an outcome, there's danger.
Ooh boy, is there.
That's dangerous. I used to see these people used to have a sign on their lawn that said "God wins."
Hmm.
Yeah, that'd give you. That was such a philosophically. I didn't even. Here we go. I didn't even know if God was trying to win anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't think he was in the game of that. The written game.
Yeah, I don't think God's in a baseball
Yeah.
or football game or something.
Oh,
That was it. And why do I say that? Because you ain't either.
yeah.
You're not going to win this game of life. Not
Nope.
if- no. Dust to
Nope.
dust, folks. That's all there is to it. That's just it. So once you get into doing it right or winning or losing or whatever, no. That's
Yeah.
not being. Being is being.
Yeah.
I say it fast because I'm a beekeeper. Being. And now people think, oh, that's funny. You talk about being and you're a beekeeper, which is another form of being. But beekeeper being is a different being. But nevertheless, by the way, if you want to get attached to your five senses, keep bees because they help you stay
Yeah.
senses. You will notice when you get into your head keeping bees. They will give you feedback pretty quick
Oh man, instantaneous.
that you're in your head. So you got to be in your five senses. So, and we have yet to ever have anybody complain about spending too much time in their five senses.
No one's ever come in and said, I'm spending way too much time on my five senses. That has never actually occurred. Nope.
Of which about 100% of everybody says the opposite.
Oh
I'm
man,
in my head too much.
I am lost. They come in. I'm lost.
And really, and folks, that's act. That's
Yeah.
just act. Act is about getting out of your head. Well, no, Steve put it in that book ahead.
Yeah.
To get out of your mind and into your life. That's said Matrix. Get out of your mind and into your five senses. That's the same thing. Very much. It's about getting out of your head. Well, out of ever so briefly out of your head. Language just shows up.
Yeah.
It does. So that's the hero's quest. So I wish you all the best of luck on your quest.
Yeah, really.
And you're probably going to get. Oh well, I guarantee you're going to get there.
Yep.
all,
Every
hu-
day.
all humans get there. It's how you live it there.
As long as you're drawing breath, you're on a quest.
It's the being that you do getting there. That's the trick of it. I wish you the best of luck with the being on your quest. And we will, and once again, it'll be next Friday before we're back. I'm
Yep, another one on Friday.
getting trained up to do something else. And but once I'm done with that, we'll probably return to doing 2 crowdcasts a week. And,
Yep, a few more weeks.
yeah, toward end of October, I'm done. Back to my usual, more retirement self. Well, how many hours do you work in retirement? I don't know, 60 or 70. I don't know. And it's because I like what I do.
Yeah, this is the slowed down version of Kevin, isn't it?
Yeah, I used to go a lot more, but all of this stuff I enjoy. I get a kick out of this stuff, and so it's not. And then it's not work. I don't have to work any at all, but I do stay busy quite a few hours of every week. Yes, but I'm being. It's fun. Anything that's not Indigenous Persons Day is coming up,
It's coming up.
but it's not next Monday. It's the week
No, I don't think so.
Monday after that, right? I don't have my calendar. But I think
I'm
it's
looking right now.
I think it's the Monday after that.
Yes, it is the 9th.
Well, we definitely won't be here then.
No.
We'll be off doing other stuff. So everybody have fun on your quest.
Quest away.
Quest away. Yes. See ya.
Bye.